Here we are again, a YouTube exclusive, playing some Sun and Moon, a companion hater deck created by Manadork, one of the Sun and Moon Discord folks over there. He's been tossing me a few lists and he's actually fairly happy with this one, so let's see what it can do. In general, the most recent red-white lockout decks, Sun and Moon lockout decks, are running things like Boom Bust, Pillage, and Stone Rain or Molten Rain type effects. This is to remove lands, make it harder for our opponents to cast things. We'll hopefully be able to lock them out with a Chalice here, sometimes a Trinisphere. And in this case, we're going with the harder Planeswalker than Creature package with Bridge to protect, a Johnny, Chandra, and we've got large Chandra here, the Awakened Inferno. Now, how do we get to this? We have Helixes and Pyroclasms. And typically in this kind of build lately, we've been playing Karn the Great Creator. However, you'll notice there's a very distinct lack of said Planeswalker. Instead, we have a Dovin Hand of Control, just as a one-of. That's going to be our Thalia-style taxing effect for our opponents. With that being said, the deck is pretty interesting, to say the least. It is running more of the white package that's the sideboard, and since you don't have Karn, you don't have to worry about having too many artifacts. However, we have some of the namesake ones for red-white lockout. Leyline and Rest in Peace are going to take care of most of the graveyard and the burn or the Thoughtseize type of things, and then Celestial Purge in case our Helixes aren't doing enough. Remember, we don't want to be playing Path in this version. We're planning to, well, destroy some things from our opponents, namely their lands. We do have a random Wrath of God here as well. I could see that being very useful, and we have a pair of Anger of the Gods. So we're board wipe centric here. No bolts, but we're using Pyroclasm as kind of like bolts number 2 or 5 and 6 here with the Lightning Helixes. I'm really excited to see this Chandra Awakened Inferno, see how that plays out as a 6-drop. It is a little harder to get to sometimes, but that being said, I think this card is actually reasonably well positioned in the right matchups. Having one main, I don't feel too bad about that. Red-White Lockout, Sun and Moon variant companion hater from Manadork. Let's go ahead and run it in the league. Red-White Lockout, Sun and Moon here in Modern. We'll have to decide what we want to throw out as the title for the video. It'll probably match very similar to the last title. Many of you seem to have liked that. Seems to be a little bit of a favorite on the stream now and then, this red-white kind of prison type deck. And I did get a few comments over our last video that it wasn't as prison and a little more scred. Well, then we'll have to adjust. But here with the white splash, I'm starting to wonder if perhaps green or black splash wouldn't be bad either. I wonder. I do wonder. Looking for our first opponent here. Alright, we found our first opponent here. I'm going to be playing some Modern. Let's see if we can win the die roll. We did not, unfortunately. The hand, though, is reasonable here, and I actually am not sure I want to get rid of the gemstone, though I could. I think I could and get rid of the Pyroclasm. I think just a simple Lightning Helix here should be just fine. Pillage, Lightning Helix, and then maybe a Chandra looks okay. If they are heavy on the creatures, the Pyroclasm would be nice. But they didn't reveal anything, so. Temple of Deceit. That is very ad nauseum-like. The Pillage could be beneficial here. We'll see what their next card is here. Might Lightning Helix them to the face. Maybe. We'll see. Nothing was suspended here. Serum Visions for our opponent. In the beginning of the game, they kept a mull to 6. A mull to 6. They put both cards on top of their library. I'm going to hold Helix. Something tells me I should hold it. Chalice on 1 isn't bad. Certainly an idea here. We could also just pillage and plan to Chalice on 1 next turn off the Chandra. I don't think they're going to just randomly run out a whole lot of things here. We could also attempt to just Chalice on 2. Thassos seems to be one of the ways they're doing this nowadays. I think the Chalice on 1 though makes sense. But I feel like I can wait here. Let's go ahead and pillage. And we'll pass turn looking to Chalice on 1 next turn. I don't think it's going to hurt us that much. Opponent floats blue. Probably an opt here. Nothing. Cool. Gemstone Caverns. Lotus Bloom is suspended. I could throw a Chalice on 0 now with the Lotus Bloom coming down. I could re-pillage here, and pillaging the Temple of Deceit kind of is tempting. I could also Chalice on 0 and pillage next turn after the Chandra, and I could just play Chandra and pass here. I can't imagine we're in dire straits. Let's go ahead and play Chandra to get board advantage here. Then we'll see whether we want to Chalice or pillage. Another land here. Then it would make sense to maybe Chalice on 0. They didn't have a 1-drop. Ooh, skipping a pillage is a little bit brutal for us. Skipping that pillage was brutal. Bring out the Lotus Bloom so folks can see that. I feel like that first pillage here on the Dark Slick Shores set them back just enough here. And that follow-up pillage plus a Chalice on 0 might be enough. If I'm going to do that, I could go ahead and uptick for damage here. Let's attempt a pillage here. I can almost just wait on this Chalice one more turn if I'm planning to 0. If I could put this on 1, we could get the Angel's Grace. Let's go ahead and still pass. It's almost guaranteed to be an Angel's Grace here due to the Pact of Negation not being payable here. Angel's Grace. Fair enough. Now it really makes me want to just 0 here with the Chalice for this Lotus Bloom. Opponent's way low on mana here. Not to mention they've now used the Gemstone at least once. And we're almost at an emblem here with our own Chandra. I can't unfortunately wait for the Chandra to be an emblem before Chalicing on 0. So an uptick here. Let's go ahead and attempt to put a Chalice on 0. I can theoretically get them to 1 here with a Chandra down for the emblem. Lotus Bloom comes off here. Chalice is going to do Chalice things. Countered. Paying for something. Just a Thassos. Okay. I can't really go up here, can I? I feel like I emblem here, I Lightning Helix, take the 10, Ensnaring Bridge, pass the turn, and just try to top deck any answer here. Yes, we do have to top deck the answer. But we'll go that line. I'm going to hold this last card here and make it look like I have one more spell. Maybe they'll concede to us knowing that we can cast the next spell. A little bit of mind games here. Phyrexian Unlife would be a little bit frustrating to see. It would be frustrating to see only because this Seachrome Cross, or sorry, it would be frustrating to see because my opponent can do a lot of things. Wow, I got another Chalice here. I feel like this is just an easy Chalice on 1. Chalice on 1, try to hit them. The Angel's Grace to save themselves, and then we have a Chalice on 0 and 1 here protecting us. There's the Angel's Grace. They go to 1. We'll hold this card, make it look like I maybe have a 4 drop, or something that needs to have a target. 3 mana Phyrexian Unlife. Well, it's not making it easy, that's for sure. There's a Pyroclasm. I guess we can just naturally get them below the threshold here and pass turn. Alright. Well, now we have a few more turns due to the Unlife, but they have very little mana at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I could bust them. That'd be kind of rude. I don't think we need to go that far. The black mana is maybe the scariest here. We only need to take the one. If we get the Chalice Sun's 1, we're drawing nothing. There's our Stone Rain. We had it in 2 turns. Probably pretty safe to say we'd have that one. Alright, Trinispheres seem good here. Damping Spheres as well. Leyline not so much because we saw the Thassa, and Boil no because they have... They don't play islands. They play other things. We can ditch the Pyroclasms here. Realistically, we probably can ditch this Chandra as well. And I need one more out. Probably just a Anger. We can use an Anger as a removal spell, but it's not really its intended use here. Helixes for the removal. Dovin wouldn't be a bad one here. I could probably just even get rid of these bridges. We have too many things to get rid of, unfortunately. We have 4 things. I guess 3 bridges plus 1, like, Anger the Gods. Cheaper spells in case I get that Chandra emblem again, I suppose. Trinisphere probably hurts us just a hair more at the early game, but if they try to combo off, it will be beneficial. And the same thing with Damping Sphere. It makes the mana just an extra 1 or 2 more, depending on how many spells they need. So we'll go ahead and board these in and see what we can do. No Blood Moon here. Blood Moon is a pretty good shutout against this deck, but we do have our Stone Rains, Pillages, and Boom Bust, so we'll use those plus our Chalices, hopefully. Plus a few other things we've brought in. They don't tend to board into anything with creatures, so I'm not too concerned about that. The hand looks good, minus the fact that I have 1 land and I have my 6 drop here, and I have a bunch of 3 drops, which the deck is a bunch of those. If they don't do like a bunch of Lotuses, this Chalice feels awkward, so we'll mulligan this. This hand's fantastic. We can keep this. I really think I want to get rid of a land here. I more than certainly want to get rid of a land. I can do Chalice on 0, Chalice on 1, and then after that, Trinisphere or Stone Rain isn't a bad follow-up. Now, the Trinisphere is a bit awkward with their mana rocks. So there's a Lotus Bloom, there's a second Lotus Bloom. Nice. We are going to wait a turn to do the Chalice on 0. The reason for waiting a turn here is if I do a Chalice on 0, they go to a negate it. Pact of Negation, I can follow it up with another Chalice on 1, and we may lock them out. So we'll go ahead and give that a shot. Chalice on 0. Hoping they counter this. They don't. We'll throw a Chalice on 1 right after this. And then we have a Stone Rain or a Trinisphere. Trinisphere might be the smarter one to play, because if they try to pick the Chalice of 0 off, it's harder for them to do that. City of Brass, Phyrexian Unlife here. Suspends another Lotus Bloom. I don't see a reason not to just Trinisphere here. If they're able to pick off a Chalice, they have to pay 3. And then they would have to also pick off the Trinisphere. And so I just don't see it being a problem. We'll counter all of this mana. Seems good. Seems good. All right, we'll go ahead and Stone Rain next. I think I can easily take off an island here. And now they can't cast things. It's always a great feeling. Now, if I hit another land, I might just boom bust. We'll see. They hit their land. The Damping Sphere. We'll go ahead and play that. Still needing one more land for the Chandra to be online. Lotus Bloom comes off suspend here. They will not be able to cast it. Countered and Trinisphere. Alright, I don't have a land that makes Boom Bust make sense to cast here, so we'll just forego doing that and hold up a Lightning Helix. My opponent now has extra lands. We get a tap land. We'll pass the turn. We may Chandra and then bust here. Chandra bust here, clear everything, have a Chandra in play feels pretty good, and probably game winning. And it's probably really difficult for them to play with the Damping Sphere in play as well. So now they're going to get Trinisphere and Damping. We'll see, though. So we've decided Ad Nauseam is what we want to play. Alright. I don't know how they do this. It'll be interesting, but I have the Lightning Helix, and they have a Damping Sphere to deal with. So I'll be curious what they've got in store here, but they've decided to go for this. I do see a few Simian Spirit Guides, but they already used one, so they have 3 Simian Spirit Guides here. I just don't see it coming together for them. But maybe I'm missing something in this whole pile here. Land drop, okay. Simian Spirit Guide, suspend. Simian Spirit Guide, suspend. I do see a Lightning Storm here. So I guess they're going to try to Lightning Storm here. For 4 mana. Okay. We'll see how much they can pitch here. I can gain 3. They should pitch enough here. So we yield to all the triggers. Let's see what this is at. It's 3+, right? It's worth a shot. I presume they have enough lands here. They had to use lots of lands though. Looks like they got us. All right, able to get through everything. So it is interesting to see the Lightning Storm, not just the Thassa's, so now the ley lines do interest me a little bit here. It's definitely over the Chandra Inferno. I can probably do them over the 2 Pyroclasms. Do I need to bring in another one? Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think we're good with what we have. Just kidding, found the anger. We're good. All right, now we know that ley line's necessary here. Seems like Ad Nauseam is playing a little bit of both combos at this point. Easy enough. We are now cited for that. Okay, so we have a Stone Rain, we have a Boom Bust, we have an Ajani here. This hand does lack a few things that could probably end the game faster. This doesn't feel good enough. Let's mulligan, looking for some other spell here. There we go. We can keep this. I'm tempted to just ditch the Helix, possibly. Let's get rid of a Johnny. We're getting rid of a Johnny. And we'll wait to see if I want to put a Chalice on 1 or on 0 here. Serum Visions for our opponent. It's interesting this matchup we don't go so aggressive on them. We're trying to still lock out ad nauseum, and it can be difficult. No no suspended. I'll probably throw Chalice on 1. I do see 1 suspended. Only 1 though. Go ahead and put it on 0. Alright, so we do have the Pact and we have the Angel's Grace. There is a reason to have played Chalice the previous turn there to avoid this scenario, but it's tough to say because they could do the Thassa's Angel's Grace and also Thassa's Angel's Grace and then Spoils of the Vault. This sort of time walks them. And it does get rid of a card that could win them the game. We'll see. We'll see. We do need another red land, unfortunately. We could end up losing pretty fast here. Need a red land for this Chandra. There's a Serum Visions. 2 to the bottom. City of Brass. Makes 2 mana. This looks like a Pentab Prism. It is. Not much it can do against that. Another Suspended Lotus Bloom. Well, I have a Helix. That is all I've got. 1 Lotus Bloom coming off here. This looks like a Phyrexian on life. It appears no follow-up currently. Isn't a Johnny. This is a whole lot of mana. If I tap out, they could get the Thassa. I could also just a Johnny to gain some life. It's probably not winning me the game, though. Really hurting on the mana for this match. Let's just hold. They're about to get another Lotus Bloom here. City of Brass. Thoughtseize. Alright. They'll get a check on the hand and know how to go after this. I could see them taking the Chandra. They don't have many cards left. This is one benefit that we have right now. So that Chalice on 0 definitely would have been reasonably good. I say that though. Angel's Grace is not a bad card to get rid of, nor the Pact of Negation. They do pick up this Chandra. Right. We're really just sitting here doing a whole lot of nothing. They kind of know what they've got to play around as well anyway. We'll go ahead and pass turn here, doing some damage to them. And we'll just hope they don't have us here. 2 cards plus the draw, limiting what we've got. Damping Sphere is not going to do enough here. They're paying something into this. Another Pentab Prism. That's a good sign. They should be comboing off if they had the combo. Just Stone Rain. Theoretically, I can play this. So let's go ahead and Stone Rain the land that exists. Play this out. Keep. Up tap here. Play another Damping Sphere. It's not great, but it is progress. Again, needing them to whiff here. That to me smells like a whiff. Okay. Let's keep this tapped. Let's put the Dove in. I don't really need to tick this down, so we'll just pass. We need them to whiff for like 5 more turns, probably. I'm still lacking my second red here, by the way. Speaking of second red, I could try to get this Johnny going, I suppose. Where's our second red? Come on, deck. Land drop. Let's go ahead and fire off a Helix. We're just take it to their face here with our burn. There's our second red. Take them down to 6. I could zero them out here with a Phyrexian Unlife. They do get to untap here. I'm not going to zero them out. Not this turn. We can... Let's go ahead and shock this in. We can pillage one of the Lotus Blooms here, which is kind of interesting. They float black, but don't do anything with it. Another pillage wouldn't be bad. We can slowly chip away at some of their stuff here. Maybe a Johnny should be going all the way up. I do like the idea of pinging them one more time here, though. And with them continuously getting lands, I don't believe... Ooh. It's kind of an interesting one there. It's kind of an interesting one. All right. Didn't think I was going to be burning my ad nauseum opponent out, but maybe that's what we'll do. Okay. I have them at 0. Ooh. There's a Chalice. One, two, three. I can put a Chalice on 3 right now. Let's go ahead and go up here. I could put the Chalice on 2. It's kind of interesting. It stops Thassa's. It also stops Pentab Prisms, sort of. Yeah, it would stop those too in the future. It doesn't stop like an Angel's Grace. Doesn't stop Lightning Storm. But if I put the Chalice on 3... What else do I have? If I put it on 2, I don't get to Lightning Helix. If I also put it on 2, I can't put it on 1 later. I'm not really sure where to put this. Other than my life total is pretty high. Thassa might be the only way they win this. Let's pass turn and plan to put Chalice on 2 after using this Lightning Helix. We might have too much life for them to deal with here. Bonus Phyrexian Unlife. I like it. I like it. Make sure they've got themselves covered here. Look at all these lands. I just feel like this is an... This has got to be it, right? This has got to be the line. Nail them here. Gain even more life. Put the Chalice on 2. Walk away. I've already burned 3 helixes. I only have 1 more left. We'll keep going up and doing the Ajani thing, gaining even more life. And now that I have a land in play, if they try to do Lightning Storm, I'm sure they have a way to get rid of this Chalice, right? This Ajani's got to be up to like 6 or 7 anyway. And I don't know if I want to blow up the lands because they have all these here. What are they on? There's a pillage. There be a pillage. I guess I'm gonna pillage a Lotus Bloom here. Just keep taking things away. I mean, we're very close to just dying out of nowhere. Where's my ley line? I'll take a ley line at this point. With Damping, Dovin, ley line, Chalice on 2. That seems very lock-like. Prisoned out. Might have gotten a little fortunate here so far. Would not be surprised to randomly lose. Now do they have enough mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add Nas. They have 4 to float, plus some Simian Spirit Guides, I'm pretty sure. Gotta have plenty, right? But now I'm at 36, right? We're kind of keeping them off of black. That doesn't do anything. Does nothing. What remains in the tank for our opponent? What remains? Land, Urborg. We're making some black mana here. Do they have enough? They have to Lightning Storm, and I get to pitch some lands here. 6 mana for an Add Nas, with 4 left, plus 3 to 4 Simian Spirit Guides. Guess it would be 4, right? Yeah, they haven't used any. Spin the wheel. We're gonna count these. They only have about 30 cards left, but this all matters quite a bit here. There's a Spoils, Temple, Island. There's the Lightning Storm we presume they're gonna try to cast. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lands so far. They're not just like blowing through this, so they might be worried here about something. There's Thassa's, but that's on 2. Chalice good. Lotus Bloom. Spoils. Lotus Bloom. Thoughtseize. They could Thoughtseize checking if they wanted to. Pentab and Simian. This is not a lot of land, so Lightning Storm does not look like it would be even close to lethal. I almost feel like this last turn, maybe I should have a Ajani downticked. They stop about halfway through their deck here. We'll see what they do with this. They have 3 Simian Spirit Guides. Exiling 1. We'll wait to close these out. But it looks like they're going to do 4. This is from Pentad's. 5 Simian Spirit Guide. Okay. They're going to go after a Ajani, it appears. They decide Ajani is where they go. Lotus Bloom, Lotus Bloom. And we'll see what else they pitch here so we have full information. Ajani was a way to win this game. It appears we're not going to get to do that, but I don't know what they've got going. Maybe something to bounce Chalice on 2? A wipe away? Some sort of claim effect? And now that they've used Lightning Storm, what's left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chalice on 0 plus a boom bust would be excellent here. Pentads are done. They might save. Thought they, yeah, they have a pentad here they could save. What is that? 16 cards remain. All right, Leyline's nice. We discarded a Thoughtseize, Spoils of the Vault, a Thassa, an Island, Temple of Deceit, another Spoils, Angel's Grace, Phyrexian Unlife, Ad Naz, Serum Visions, Temple of Enlightenment, and a Plains. So we know these cards exist. Hit them with the Ley Line, pass turn. Let's put this away. We'll keep this kind of down here, or right here. There we go. So they're gonna have 2 Lotus Blooms coming off, and they're gonna keep 2 Simian Spirit Guides. Are we just gonna try to hit some Simian Spirit Guides here and try to beat me down? Looks like that might be the play here. Okay, this is the play. I can stop one of them briefly with the Dovin. Wow. Where's the boom bust to stop this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think this is a smart play from my side of the table. Let's go ahead and prevent a Simian Spirit Guide here. Let's hold. I don't really know what I want to use a boom bust on. Need to find Chandra or a Johnny, it appears. They attack for 2 at Dovin. My own Simian Spirit Guide would work too. They decide to play a 3rd one here. Speaking of. We'll prevent one. We're going to cast one. We'll pass the turn. I have my own. These come off of Suspend. 14 cards of the draw. 13 cards remain. They can hit me for what appears to be for a turn after this one. So they'll have 13 turns at 4, which is plenty. Definitely blocking with the Simian Spirit Guide. I believe they are out of Simian Spirit Guides here. They send both a Dovin. This is fine. I'm still blocking one. We need to get it off the table. Bonus Leyline. Play it down just for grins. Pass turn. Gonna get hit for 4, it appears. I need to find my Ajani. I need to find my Chandra. There she is. Let's use Chandra down tick on one of the Simian Spirit Guides. They'll have to attack Chandra here. I don't want to accidentally go over my Ajani here either. I think the Seachrome was played. And we get a concession. They don't have enough damage to kill me. They have to do 2 here, then they draw, and they have 10 turns. They'll do 20 damage. We're drawing Sunbake to Cantrip. We have a Wrath of God coming in just a few turns. We're clear. We would just find a Johnny at some point and win the game from there. There you go. Or Simian Spirit Guide. Ad Nauseam. A bit of a rough one there, but we take it, lock it out. Good start. Good start. Not bad. Looking good. Match 1 was a long one. Great value for you all. He's a brain thinker. We had to avoid all kinds of weird things going on. And I like that my opponent found the line that they thought could win, went for it, didn't give up. But in the end, Prison wins out. Match 2 coming up here. Let's play some Magic. Found our opponent here. Let's go ahead and play a match. It's a bit interesting. This is also an interesting hand here. This is one of those like weird tempting ones that if I draw a land, it could get really, really good. It's dangerous. Okay. We'll hope that this chalice on perhaps 0 or 1 will be good. I presume I'll be trying to get it on 1. Snow-covered island, Astrolabe. Land drop boom bust wouldn't be a bad one here, nor would a chalice on 1. Pillage. Pillage, huh? Alright, let's go ahead and throw a chalice on 1 here past turn. We can kind of goof up their mana a little bit if we'd like to. We'll see, we'll see. No companion. Got the Astrolabe in play here. It is countered. Land drop. Land drop of my own? Oh, it's awkward. It's awkward. We'll pass. I'm waiting for the Flooded Strand and then maybe seeing something like a dual land or a Triome. This will be a little bit more interesting to hit with our boom Euro here. Our bridge looks fantastic if we can get it to stick at any point. We'll see if they have a bonus land. It appears they do. Land drop, come on. It's getting more and more awkward by the second here. Let's go ahead and cast the boom. On the off chance they don't have a 4th land here. They need a 4th land and they need some more cards here. They decide to force a negation with a blue sun zenith. Alright, so we took a risk here and the risk is not paying off quite clearly. This bridge could be valuable though, and we just got past a force of negation. Now we are on turn 5 with no land draws. This is a little awkward and a little unusual. I don't know. This is not very good for us. Wilderness, Archmage Charm. You can blame this one on me. You can blame. Leave in the comment if you're disappointed in our 1 land keep. Please. Land. There's 1. There's a 3rd. So it would take 1, 2, 3, 4 more additional turns. Okay. So. Boil in. Trinisphere in. Probably a pair of Rest in Peace. Pyroclasm might be good, might not. Chalice is okay. Let's do 2 chalices, 2 pyroclasms out, and then let's find a room for the boil. Like, probably just a stone rain out. Switch the land destruction spell. You know what? Let's do a boom bust. Let's do a boom bust. Damping Sphere is likely to just hurt me a little bit more than them, so I'm not going to worry about that. Chalice on 1 was okay. Maybe not the best, but I don't think a pyroclasm is going to be necessary. They may have some small little creatures, but we'll just assume they won't. This hand's a lot better, by the way. We can try to pick off a few more things here. It looks a heck of a lot better, though. We really just gifted our opponent in game 1. We should have mulliganed. Lesson learned. Don't do that. Even as greedy as it was with the Simian Spirit Guides. Sacred Foundry tap, pass turn. We will be planning to boom, bust, pillage, and then whatever we top deck, which will hopefully not be all of our lands we are missing from game 1. This card is terrible for us. We don't get to hit that. We'll go ahead and play another card, a tapped pass turn. If they play only fetch lands, it's going to be really awkward. We'll eventually get to bust, but it wasn't our plan. Back and forth we go. Fetch lands for my opponent, and just destruction spells for us. We'll go ahead and try to play a Johnny here. I presume this just gets forced, but maybe my opponent can now wake up here and play with their lands. This coming turn, I have a feeling it's going to just be a Wilderness Reclamation. Once it's a Wilderness Reclamation in play, we're going to have a hard time killing lands. We are 2 away from being able to try to do the bust side here. And we've decided to get basic, basic, and maybe one more basic here. Triple basic. We're going to just counter a Johnny. Force. Sounds good. They must have more lands. It seems very odd to do all basics and not have the green for Wilderness. There it is. And here's Wilderness. All right. Got to beat Wilderness Reclamation. Go ahead and attempt to pillage here. Pillaging the island. Gets charmed. We could attempt, but I'm going to hold off here to try to do the bust. The bust side. We're going to get greedy again. There's another land. We could also try to wait for our boil and set up boil and bust. Opponent gets to float some mana here. A blue suns here is pretty bad for us. Blue suns draws 5. We have 2 cards untapped. Well, no better time than to try for it. Do you have the counter? Or remand? Now they know about bust. And they can play around it as they feel fit. Another Wilderness Reclamation, another land. Fetching. Basic forest would be what I would get here. And they do. 2 mana Ice Fang. Untaps. Untaps. We'll try to anger the gods. We're falling further and further behind here. Play our land past the turn. They've got to respect that I could somehow bust them out. Land drop for our opponent. Any follow-up. Floating mana. Floating more mana. Floating all the mana. Does nothing with the floated mana. Play a bridge past turn. My opponent's doing not a whole lot. I don't see a reason to rush out my bust here. Again, another bust or a boil would be better to chain those together. This is probably our only line of winning here. Mystic Sanctuary picks up an Archmage Charm and draws the Archmage Charm. Draws 2. The other thing we could just do next turn is slam Simian Spirit Guide and start attacking them. Their only resolve in this game might be Euro here. Floats 4. I respect that that is their decision most of the time. Let's try to put a Chalice on 3. This is really cute. Locks us out of a lot of things we could do. But if Euro is their win condition, they will counter this. Information. Counter draw from the Cryptic. 4 mana does a Fact or Fiction. We'll give you Blue Suns or all of that. Mainly because the Blue Suns draws all of that again. They take the 4. There's 0. Never got our Rest in Peace fast enough. So now they'll be able to Abrupt Decay the bridge away. Can't play Euro here unless they go fetching with the Polluted Delta. And they do know the bust is still in hand. Jace, the Mind Sculptor, goes up. Well, it was fun. It was a pleasure. Even if I get to try to play the Simian Spirit Guide, they can just Aether Gust it. Maybe I try to play Simian Spirit Guide and then try to play Boom Bust. Do I have enough? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I need 9. Abrupt Decay is my bridge. And they know what's coming here. It's a Flagstones. Well, I think that's going to do it. First match was long. We'll concede this one. We hiccuped and goofed up. We shouldn't have kept the 1-lander, and then we were against a matchup that's probably really bad for us. I don't think it was happening. Next match. Next match. Don't keep the 1-lander. Match 3 coming up here. We've done well. We've made mistakes. And now it's time to just finish out the league. The next 3 running matches, doing well, not screwing up. Let's also hopefully find a companion. I can't believe I'm asking for that, but for whatever reason, it does seem to be hard to find those occasionally when you're, recording matches. The deck is to fight companions. That's the idea of it. Oh, we have found a companion. We are going to keep this hand. We have the Helix, Stone Rains. We have a Dovin that might do some cool things. Chalice on 1 might be good if it's Luris Burn. Chalice on 0 maybe if they're like a Jund Burn. We'll see. Well, that's Jund-like. We'll see. Bobble. Chalice on 0 is looking okay. Draws a card. We'll yield to this. Could wait for the Chalice on 1. We'll go ahead and give it a shot here. They didn't Thoughtseize me turn 1, so they didn't steal it. And if they Thoughtseize me here, they'll be more inclined probably to take the Chalice. We'll see. Stops bolts as well, Inquisition, and then we also just know that we have the Mishra's Bauble and 2 drops to deal with. They could be running Maelstrom Pulses, Abrupt Decays, K commands, and so on and so forth, but we'll get to those later. Right now, we're just concerned about getting this Chalice probably on 1. I'm also concerned about a land. Our lands have been hit or miss a little bit here. Second land, 2-drop, Abbot. Abbot's kind of interesting. A Manamorphose off the top. Okay, I do hit my land, which is nice. They're going to get a redraw off the Bauble. I could also just Chalice on 0 and wait. Plan to a Johnny or Helix. Now am I chalicing on 0? I saw a Manamorphose. Let's do it. We've changed our mind only because I saw a Manamorphose. To me, that makes this sound like a little bit more prowessy. Luris down and then more Baubles in the future just sounds awful. Chalice on 0, make them pay to get rid of this. Next turn is probably just a Stone Rain. Hoping that they do play this Luris this turn, I get to Helix it. Decide to Manamorphose here. We can let this ride. Let it ride. It's red and black here, so they can repeat if they need to. If they repeat, I might just Helix the Abbot. They repeat a Manamorphose, it's very likely that I just nail this Abbot down. Swift Spear. Land drop. Let's go ahead and Helix. I think the most they can do is one spell here. So I'm going to save the 3 damage, negating it completely with the Helix and killing, and then they only do 1 to me. Feels pretty good. We'll just line this up with probably the Stone Rain. I could also just Dovin. Prevents the damage for a turn. I wonder how much real damage they can do if I just Stone Rain them here. Let's chance it. Let's chance it. They play the Luris down. Hopefully this coming turn I get a land in Wrath of God. If they keep this tapped down, we might just get a land in a Johnny as well. No real reason to bring in the Luris because the Bauble just doesn't cycle very well here. They could get the Abbot if they get enough lands. I'm liking this Dovin right now. This Dovin could be real spicy here. What do you got? Another land. Figures. A Seal of Fire. Okay. Hits me for 2, it looks like. Fair enough. Fair enough. We do hit our land, so I could theoretically a Johnny here and keep this tapped down. I kind of like that. Kind of like that. Let's go ahead and do that. They'll need another Seal of Fire here, which they could. They could Luris, Seal of Fire, and then I'll get to Wrath of God, the Swift Spear plus the Luris. We're sitting at what I would deem a healthy 17 life. Here they go. So Johnny's going to eat 4 damage here and get their Luris into play, and they'll have a Seal of Fire that's now in the graveyard instead. Looks pretty good to me, in my opinion. I'm happy for this. Swift Spear is not hitting us. No damage extra from the Swift Spear. Seal of Fire is burned. The Luris card, the problematic one's gone. Looks good. Wrath of God coming in clutch. And a pretty sweet follow-up. Alright, opponent. What are your last 2 cards? I might go ahead and just cycle this. Although they do know we're a land destruction deck, so we'll see. Ooh. That was pretty good. Take Chandra. Take Chandra gives Dovin a read before slamming the Chandra into the graveyard, though. We got to make sure we understand what these cards do. Alright, we continue to miss. We continue to miss our red land again. I'm trying to figure out why we keep doing that. We won't worry about Dovin here. We're just going to leave Dovin as a sweet 5 loyalty here. Looking for maybe a Chalice. Chalice on 1's looking really good right now. I bet some of their hand here is Baubles. I bet at least one of those cards is a Bauble. Looking good so far. We might be pretty main decked for this too. Trinisphere is probably the only thing I would entertain bringing in. Alright. Well, this gets me my red. It's a bit slow to do so, but it does get it for me. Comes into play tapped, unfortunately, but that's fine. That's fine. What's next, opponent? land draw. Cracks the land. Are we going to cycle Sunbaked Canyon here? Nice. I feel pretty confident to just pillage off a black source here. After, of course, a chalice on 1. Now we get the chalice on 1. I will easily pillage here at the end step as well. Or, not end step, our main here. Slowly attempting to constrict everything my opponent's doing here. Lightning bolts Dovin. Cost a little bit of mana to do that, by the way. Let's go ahead and pillage off the black source. We're not going to hit artifacts. Bobble's stuck in the graveyard. So that is only a Stone Rain effect. If I hit another red source, I'll be priced into just cycling Sunbaked Canyon. Looking for perhaps another chalice to put on 2 or a win condition at this point. Well, not exactly how I wanted the source. Let's go ahead and take them off their other swamp here. I don't really need to do the bust side of this. Doing the boom side's cool. I'll get another red source here as well, and this way I can cycle to Sunbaked Canyon. Again, not using Dovin at this point. No need to. Opponent hits a land drop. Good for them. It's real when you're playing Simian Spirit Guide as the beatdown monkey. It's a real thing. Kind of want a second Dovin. Mana Dork was not wrong. It's kind of sweet. Alright, you now have a beatdown monkey in your way. I will be cycling the Sunbaked at end step. Chalice is on 1 and 0. Extra draw. Never a bad thing. Go ahead and Stone Rain. Just keep picking off the lands. In for 2. We'll go ahead and F6 to their turn. Down to 13. This is definitely a leyline matchup. Definitely a leyline matchup. Alright, game 1 of match 3 here. Taken down. Leylines interest me, Trinispheres interest me, Celestial Purges interest me, Rest in Peace, Damping, all this interests me. Alright, we have to rank this clearly on what we think is going to matter here. Chalice, they're probably going to have something that matters here, and we'll be able to take these and get rid of them. I am kind of sitting here looking at what we have generally, and I'm wondering if it would just be best to bring in like the Leylines, the Trinispheres, the Purges, and don't even worry about the Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace, though, would stop Luris, but we could also just pick off Luris, so I'm thinking I don't need the Rest in Peace. Damping Sphere, kind of the same as a Trinisphere, so I don't think I need to do that. This is probably for something like Amulet or Titan. Alright, so narrowing down, we have 9 cards that definitely interest me. What's really funny here is I actually could just get rid of Simian Spirit Guide. I don't think we have to rush anything really out here. Helixes and these low-end Angers and Pyroclasms makes me feel safe. That may not be a good thing, but it does. Boom Bust, we can probably ditch a few of those. So this is probably like 3 Leylines, 2 Stratospheres, and 1 Purge so far. Dovin did well. I don't know how well Dovin will do, but he is like Trinisphere number 3, so he gets a stay here. Let's go ahead. I want to just realistically get rid of the rest of the booms here and do 2 more Purges because that's getting rid of the creatures. And I think I want 1 Leyline, and I'll ditch 1 Chalice here. I do know that I'm still leaving Stone Rains and Pillages in, but I'm also playing a Trinisphere. I have the Ajani. That's the idea. Whether that's smart or not, we'll figure that out. I'm expecting Chalice to be easily taken care of, and so that's why the Chalice is coming out instead of like a pillage here. Switch, and let's go. Chandra awakens the top end. It does have an anger style effect of 3 damage, and so it is a board wipe, probably. This hand looks fantastic. I am really hard pressed to say that I even need to do the Gemstone Caverns here. We probably won't even bother. That way I've guaranteed almost to have 4 mana. I'm not even sure what I would ditch, so we'll just keep this, and I'm not going to put that into play. One of the few times I don't feel like putting a gemstone into play. It would be a fast Chalice, but I don't think I'm going to need it. There's a bobble. Dang. Apparently just Chalice on 0 would have been fine. They're also priced into doing this because the Soulscar Mage would still grow, but the Chalice could be placed on 0 here. They decide to see my top deck and then probably get more information here. Okay. Currently no real reason to rush out a Chalice on 0. Luris is not going to get these back. And if they thought sees me, they'll probably be more interested in my Chalice at this point. I would like to get a Chalice on 1, though. The idea is that this hides that I have a Wrath of God from Thoughtseize. But this could be the turn that they do this to me. Swift Spear. And a 1-drop. Or are they just going to hit me for 2, light up the stage? Some variant of none of those cards. Cool. Let's go ahead and play down Chalice on 1. This does give Luris an opportunity here to do Luris things. This is a good sign. Using mana instead of putting out Luris. That being said, it's a Manamorphose, so kudos to them. Best draw in the deck here would be Pyroclasm. Second best would be Helix. Third best would be an Anger of the Gods. So we have 4, 5. Ooh, another Abbot. Okay. Hits a land drop. It's beneficial for them. Good Stone Rain here. Taking 4. I think I'm good with an attempted Stone Rain. I'd Anger too. Let's go ahead and Stone Rain. Let's just take a Blood Crypt. Sunbaked Canyon can be cantripped at some point, but also Sunbaked Canyon hurts them over the next few turns. We are shocking in this coming turn. I'm hoping they have a land drop and they go, well, land drop, Luris, and Manamorphose. That way this Wrath of God is just... But doesn't appear to be that. Smash to Smithereens or Chalice of the Void. Okay. 11. Are we going to just get bolted here and lose the game? There's a bobble. 3, 6, 10. I can't shock in now, but I do have the Gemstone Caverns. They have one more spell here. Cling to Dust. Nice. Alright. They have enough to kill us. So, clearly need to be a bit faster, a little lower to the ground. Don't think I have really anything that I need to be bringing in. We could do the Simian Spirit Guides here to beef us up a little bit faster. Just a little bit. Maybe better than a couple pillages here. I don't think I want to go too much faster though. We are on the play. I don't believe this is a matchup for Rest in Peace. I think we can win it with predominantly what we have in our hand here. But who knows? Who knows? Being on the play, though, is a very big thing here. They're an aggressive deck, so we want to be ahead of them as much as possible. Let's play first. Leyline, Chalice, 3 lands. This is match 3. if you've been watching since the beginning, you know exactly the decision that I should make here. One moment. You're correct. Mulligan. Perfect. Keep. I'm going to ditch the Simian Spirit Guide because I don't have to rush the Chalice out really fast here. We're going to put the Chalice on... I think I still want to put it on 1. It may not matter to put it on 1 anymore, actually. It might be better to just to try to get to 2. And use the Pyroclasm on turn 3. Sunbaked Canyon, we got a 1-drop here. Soulscar Mage. This is a good reason for 1-drops because of all those nasty creatures that could show up here. So we'll go ahead and put this on 1. I know it's not really needing it for a Bolt or Thoughtseize, but a Chalice here on 1 does stop things like Soulscar Mage and Swift Spear, which are easily 1 or 2 ways that they could kill me. Alright, set up pretty well here against our opponent. Let's see if it pays off. Maybe they kept a 1-lander. There's Bobble. Can't stop 0s and 1s just yet. Decided to hold the Bobble this time around to get the Prowess trigger on the Soulscar Mage. What's scary here about this Pyroclasm is they could have a spell. I'd like to see them burn everything here, putting maybe an Abbot into play. Don't have a Prowess trigger for next turn when I try to Pyroclasm. Two red. Manamorphose. Looks like they're going to lay down the heat here. Makes double red. Swift Spear. Come on. Abbot's fine. Okay. Abbot is fine. We're on turn 2. They don't get to play that. They hit me for 3. I'm going to Pyroclasm. One of the frustrating things here is that Luris and then the following couple turns they might get the Abbot and everything. So just something they could do in the future. But let's go ahead and stop the bleeding here and go ahead and pass the turn back to them with no creatures on the battlefield. And we have plenty of mana here. I'm 1 short of Chandra Awakened Inferno, but we're not looking to draw that right now. I need a Johnny, Helix, Chandra, Pillage, Stone Rain. I'll take just about anything right now. 3rd land for our opponent. Luris is an option here. They do make Mardu colors. It looks like that is what we are getting played here. So I'll need another sweeper type effect as well, or just a spot removal here would be fine. And I don't believe I could have waited there. Taking the damage we would have been really bad. At most they're getting Abbot back. Bobble. Pyroclasm. It's a nice top deck. Didn't ask for that one, but I'll take it. Cool. Alright. So they got 3 mana, draw a card. Draw a card, take a card. Kind of like a K command. Next Chalice goes on 2, even though I have Helixes in the deck. Because we do know about a Smash to Smithereens. We do know about that one. They could be running K commands. At this point, K command Chalice pick up Luris would be pretty good. 3 mana. Mardu colors. Don't K command me. I just said it was a good idea. K command, pick up Luris, hit Chalice, land drop. Fetch him. Can do a 1-drop now, like Swift Spear. I need to just shut my mouth when I play Magic. Soulscar Mage. Okay. Play our land out because we do have the 6-mana Chandra. We got to pass the turn. Looks like we're going to have a Lurrus here plus Soulscar Mage plus Bobble here in our future. We are like 3 helixes away from beating them. Black, white, play Lurrus. I would personally play Soulscar Mage here. That's what I would do if I was them. I know the temptation to just slam another Bobble here as well. But Soulscar Mage following turn Bobble would be pretty good. I know it plays into a Wrath, but I just feel like that is probably the more correct play here. Puts them at 9, which is good for us. That way they have 2 prowess creatures next turn and just can go off. Looks like they've decided to hit me for 1 instead. What do you have? A light up the stage? Soulscar. Cool. Land drop. Cool. It's pretty good. Pretty good top deck. I'm not going to say I expected her. I still like their line. I really do appreciate their line because I think in the next 2 turns we're dead through that line. And they saw Wrath, they saw Anger, I'm pretty sure, so I can respect it. An Abbot, Cling. They could exile their own Soulscar Mage now. Gain 3. They can cycle this. This is escape 4. I wonder what I'm supposed to do with Chandra. I could down tick to kill the Abbot here. I could also just up tick to give them the gift. The great gift. Okay, Bolt Chandra. That answers everything. I'm not going to do anything with Chandra. They take 2 here. They're at 7. I'd be careful, opponent. We have some burn in our own deck here. Bridge is a hot one off the top, too. Not going to lie. I'm sure they have some artifact destruction at some point. It's a good one, though. They don't rip it off there at the end step. Got 2 draws here. Smash. Abbot. Kiln Fiend. It's a Kiln Fiend deck. Alright. Kiln Fiend splashing black for Lurrus and Cling to Dust instead of just, say, white. And K-Command. Went more the black route, it looks like, even though they have the Sunbaked Canyons. 2 mana. Choosing to play this Kiln Fiend, I presume? Does so. It's a good card. Definitely could kill us. Wrath of God Anger here. Well, it's a land drop. Lucky for them, they get to see all the cards I'm playing here. Cycles Sunbaked. Does Cling to Dust, the escape. Oh no, this is from the hand. Getting rid of a Chandra here. That means they draw a card. Not necessarily any gaining life. Maybe a little surprised they didn't do that on their turn. In case they hit the smash, get to hit the bridge and come in for a whole ton of damage. There's Sunbaked Canyon number 1. We were waiting for those to be cantripped through. I have a feeling their hand is a couple bolts as well, so any planeswalkers are going to die pretty easily. Wooded Foothills. Cracks the Wooded Foothills. Opponent is at 7. Take 1 more. There's no way you shock this in. You're just fetching so this doesn't draw you some. There's no way you shock that in. Okay. Cycles. Looking for that smash. We are looking for perhaps another bridge. Bridge or board wipe. Best draws for us. A couple of these cards could be Thought Seizes as well. A Dovin. I don't particularly mind this. I'm going to go ahead and uptick on the Kiln Fiend just as a careful consideration here. Making black, cling to dust to draw a card. Still deciding that 7's an okay life total for them to be at. They could escape some of these too to do some drawing. Uptick on Kiln Fiend past turn. Just in case. Just in case. Alright, we'll F6 through this turn. Like I said, the only thing they care about is a smash here. Tapping 2, the 3rd mana because of Dovin. Manamorphose. Okay. Where's my Wrath effect? We've done so well. They're halfway through their deck, though. Bobble. Okay. It's a draw spell. Cracks the Bobble. What's on top of my library opponent? There's a land drop. I get another turn. Maybe I don't do this with the Dovin this coming turn. Bobble. Fetches. They're at 6. Maybe I do this with a Dovin now. Oh, it's a Chandra. I go up here, right? There's almost no reason to downtick here. Almost no reason. I think I go up here. If I hit another bridge, it's great. Helix is fine. Oh, Helix is pretty good here. I'm going to nail them. Put them at 3. Prevent damage on Kiln Fiend here. Pass turn. Understanding they could bolt Dovin. I'd prefer them to bolt that instead of Chandra. They're at 3. No, no, no! Lightning Bolts. Oh, Lightning Bolts Chandra. Okay. A Johnny isn't out. Lightning Helix isn't out. They're scared of Chandra. Not scared of Dovin. Dovin's just a big tax here. Seal Fire. Okay, that'll kill Chandra. Does so. Helix. A Johnny. Off the top. I'm going to keep ticking up on the Kiln Fiend here until it gets to 1. Then we'll keep Dovin just around. It's greedy, but not greedy. It gives us probably an extra turn here once they've cycled through some cards and then hit the bridge. This Cling gains them life. They can escape it as well. So we need a lot more work here. Prevent damage again. Pass turn. We'll see if they do the Cling here. They don't. Interesting. Another Kiln Fiend. Well, now upticking with Dovin doesn't really make sense anymore. Bonus Leyline. Pass turn. Can I get another bridge here? I feel like another bridge is very important right now. Opponent's at 4 minutes. What'd you find? What'd you find? Swifty. 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 This is smash, isn't it? And there's the smash. I need a helix off the top here. I believe I can block enough damage here. Helix off the top. Let's go. Helix Wrath would be okay off the top too. 3, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh my gosh, it's exacties. It's exacties. It's going to be a helix when I check for it too. We'll check. We knew that one bridge wasn't going to last. If I down tick with that Chandra, we'd have one more turn here. Another Chandra. Play the Chandra uptick for the helix. Dang. Opponent beats us. Match 3 down. This is a very close one, though. That Chandra with 2 upticks there would have gotten us there, too. And their last card, even if it's a bolt, doesn't clear the Chandra. So they need that smash. They got it. Just in time. Just in time. Alright, match 4 coming up. Playing some good ones here with the Sun and Moon list. Didn't quite beat Luris. I still don't think I needed the Rest in Peace. Our ley line did prevent some damage, but what's funny is it didn't really prevent a whole lot. And actually after that opponent did get cleared there with all the cards that they had, it just didn't matter. Anyway, match 4 coming up right here. Kitty is our opponent. Lose a dice roll. However, we have a pretty decent hand here. I'll keep this. I'll keep. I don't think I'm going to rush this out either. I know there's been a few decisions whether or not we should with the Gemstone Caverns. In this case, I don't think it's really worth it. Lots of removal here. Lotus Bloom. Apparently people are playing this deck a bunch today. Too bad I don't have Blood Moon. Sunbaked Canyon pass turn. We will be planning to do this Boom Bust. We'll see if this one results similar to the last one. This wasn't my initial opponent, was it? Was it? Who knows? It's a nice temple, by the way. Very Greek looking. So Chalice is the ideal draw here, I suppose. Bonus Helix. Let's cast a Boom. We blow up the land, get the Sacred Foundry. I guess I have 9 damage available to me. Maybe they'll try to do the Thassa's Oracle plan, and I can kill it. Oh, they don't have another land. That's good. Pillage? Stone Ring? Just pass the turn. Lotus Bloom comes off. Suspend. I don't foresee myself hitting anything here. City of Brass. Did they just go for it? Maybe they have the Thassa's whole thing and maybe they're just going to go for it here. Maybe they're crazy. Pillage would be nice to pick off the Lotus Bloom. I mean, I did ask for it. We'll go for it. Seems good. Makes triple black here. Looks like they want to use an ad nauseum. Let's see what they reveal here. City, Serum, Temple, Pact, Vault, Pentad. There's Thassa's. They don't have enough mana to do Thassa's Spoils and. There we go. Oh, ad nauseum there. Ooh, that was a tough one. They can keep going if they wanted to. Sort of. They're at 6. And I do know about a Pact of Negation here. Dark, Slick Shores. That was not in the hand. Takes another. Hits a Phyrexian Unlife here. Well, I have double Helix. I almost have triple Helix here. They're going to move to discard. Let's see what they discard here. I kind of want them to do this. When do they have to name this? Choose a card name. Reveal cards from the top of your library until the reveal card. So if I kill Thassa's, in response, then they can just name something they actually have in their deck. They're going to hold this Pact of Negation, I can guarantee that. Maybe I can bait it out. Spoils, Thassa spoils a Pact of Negation, I double Helix. Gotta play those mind games with our opponent. They are discarding. Let's double check what they've discarded here. They discarded a Serum Visions. Spoils, Pentab. City of Brass. They did get rid of a Pact, and they did get rid of a Thassa. So they have an Ad Naz Spoils. Looks like what they had left. Let's jam a Dovin. Dovin feels safe here. Dovin pass turn. Feels safe. Is it? Maybe. City of Brass doing damage again. Pentab Prism for 3. It's pretty good. Pretty good Pentab Prism. It's a pretty good one. I think I want to hold all of these helixes right now. I think I want to hold all of this for now. We'll just pass turn. The Temple was played. So my opponent has a lot of mana here. About the only thing we've got going for us here is we have a bunch of helixes. That is it. I can't double helix if I boom. Unless I target the gemstone, which will make it look suspicious. I don't think this gets me anything by doing this. We'll pass turn. That card into your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. If the Phyrexian Unlife is at 0, does Ad Nauseam hurt it? It's not damage. I mean, I guess I can test this. Doesn't hurt to test it, I suppose. So now they're at 0. I'm just curious. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Now I don't have double on another Thassa here. So it's maybe the wrong play. They have another Pact of Negation, though. We've decided to exile 4 Simian Spirit Guides. Lightning Storm is their choice here. Do they have enough lands here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They have a lot of lands. I guess I can do the Helix thing again like I did last time. I mean, that's how the whole game worked last time, right? Go ahead, opponent. Oh, we got there. We got there. Angel's Grace. Guess this works too. Guess that works too. Okay. Trinispheres, Ley Lines. I want to say I did Damping Spheres as well last time. Pyroclasm's out. Anger's out. I think Ashandra Awakened was out. Wrath of God. And 6. Did I have the Damping Spheres in? No, I don't think I did. I think I just had these. Did I? I don't recall. I don't recall, and we're going to go ahead and try this. I think I did have these Damping Spheres in for something like a Stone Range and a Boom Bust or something. Okay. It's a one-lander. It's got Leyline and Chalice, though. It's mulligan. I said I wouldn't keep another one-lander. Alright, this hand's pretty good. We can keep this. I get rid of one flagstone. We put the Leyline into play. I get to play Sunbaked Canyon into play. I get the Boom Bust. And then maybe get a Chandra down and start taking away at their life total. Fingers crossed. Need another land. Dovin's not terrible. Alright, so we snag ourselves a basic plains here. It's a very pretty plains, by the way. Darkslick Shores. Nice. I'm just gonna slam Chandra here. Chandra and start doing damage. Dovin's not a bad thing to follow up Chandra with, especially if they have like Pentab Prism here. Pillage would be great here too. They get banned. I kind of want to use this Stone Rain. Stone Rain over here. They have 3 mana available to them, maybe a 4th. No. Let's stick with the plan. Pillage the Pentab Prism and pass turn here. This feels like the smarter line. Stone Rain takes 1, Pillage takes 2. There's a land. Phyrexian Unlife. Yep, that card. Up for damage. Don't need the ley line. We'll play... Whoops. We'll play Dovin here. It makes things a little bit more expensive for my opponent. Chandra's probably going up 1 more time. Tap land. Cashes in a Gemstone Mine. We have 3 mana coming here. Pentab Prism for 3. Another Pillage would be nice to take care of that one. Up. Chalice. I almost want to put Chalice on 2. Stop the Thassa's Oracle. It's probably the most deadly thing here for us. I can downtick this Chandra, get a Simian Spirit Guide into play. The 2 feels smarter. We played this matchup earlier. That's where we put it and we won last time. Ad nauseum into Lightning Storm is just not possible currently with the Dovin. Well, I say that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 Simian Spirit Guides and a Dark Slick Shores would do it. They can't target me, though. And if they're doing this and having to get rid of the Chandra, then they probably lose just by Simian Spirit Guide beatdowns. All right, we get there again. Any changes? Damping Sphere is about the only one that's interesting to me as a change. I didn't have Bridges in last time. That's what it was. Damping Sphere's in. I guess the Awakened. And go with that. Yeah. Yeah, this will work. I did have them in. I have Bridges out. That's what it was. Alright, we have a Chalice on 0. We have a Dovin. We have a Pillage. Hand looks decent. No double red. We're still going to keep, though. Ghost. Serum Visions. See if they put any Lotuses out. Nope. We'll aim for that 2 again with the Chalice. We might do Dovin, Pillage, Chalice or something like that. Or Dovin, Chalice, Chandra, Pillage. I don't know if a 1-drop matters here. I think it's the 2 that matters the most. They put both cards on top, by the way. The Pentad. Now it's starting to look like I might want to put a Chalice on 1. Oh, shoot. Oh shoot, a Thoughtseize. Well then. No Chalice. Decision was made. Helix. It's not very good. I think it's Dovin up next. 4 mana. Angel's Grace. Uh-oh. they don't know about this Lightning Helix. Okay. They're gonna draw their entire deck here? They do? Oh my gosh. The last card I have that I just picked was a Helix. Ah, what? If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win. Or X is devotion of blue. Well, it was fun. It was fun. Oh well. Oh well. Got excited for a moment. It's the equal part. It's the equal part. Guess I should have put a Chalice in one. Next match. All right. Final match coming up here. Once again, we're needing to salvage a league. And this is getting tiring, trying to salvage leagues with these prison decks. If you have suggestions, definitely consider leaving a comment. That being said, Pyro Prison would have been excellent in this league. Ad Nauseam is a reasonably powerful one. The Sun and Moon version is a little weaker to that because we don't have the aggro package that we sometimes do have. That being said, we do know we can beat it. We can beat it. All right. Final match. Let's find an opponent. Let's play some Magic. We have found our opponent. Opponent found. C. Newman with the Sharknado. 2 lands, Bridges and Dovin, and we have a Lutri. I'm going to keep because we have Dovin. This will be interesting. Lutri we haven't played against at all. This is actually the very first time that I've played against little Lutri. So, let's play an Inspiring Vantage in here. We can all play pretty much untapped. This will be interesting. Will be interesting. Steam Vents tapped. Polluted Delta. What kind of counterspell do we think they have? Let's wait. Let's not. I thought about it. I want to see if they have a counterspell. We can play Dovin next after this counterspell. It's an opt. Maybe they don't have a counterspell. Okay, that's a good sign for us. I think they would have countered the pillage if they could have. So Dovin Veto is definitely going to be fine here. We have a shock in here. They did bottom the card. I'm going to go ahead and still shock. We'll shock here. Hope they don't have a counter. This one should be painful for them if they don't. Sticks. No real reason to down ticket. Nothing to prevent damage currently. We'll just pass the turn. Steam Vents. It is shocked in. My opponent plays a Lightning Bolt on Dovin. Shocks in again. Follows this up with a Stomp on Dovin. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Tap land. We'll go ahead and slam a bridge here and pass turn. Okay. Looking okay so far. Mystic Sanctuary picks up Opt or Bolt. Picks up an Opt. And does so. Alright, so we have an Opt coming here for my opponent. Get a Pillage. Let's pillage off more red mana. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Archmage Charm. That's fine. Pass the turn. Opt. Search for his Kanta. I think I'm going to go ahead and just Helix them here. Put them to 9. I could have cantripped. Why cantrip when you got stuff like that coming? Let's play the second bridge past the turn here. As Kanta's going to be able to flip here very soon, if not this turn. So I've got to do 9 damage somehow to them. Let's skip to our turn. We'll play another bridge. Make sure they'll never be able to attack us. They just pass back. Doesn't flip search for his Kanta again. This is definitely a Boyle matchup, by the way. Stone Rain Steam Vents. If only these were Molten Rains. Stone Rain's definitely a lot easier to cast, and that's why we have it in the list. But Molten Rains would be doing the damage now. Opponent just loses their Steam Vents here. I can't cast this little dude. Oh no, they can. It's blue. Blue. What is this? A 2/3, 3/2? Okay. They flip Escanta here, getting rid of nothing. I'll hold this card briefly. We'll pass. Sleight of Hand hits the hand there with the search for Escanta. How's this deck beating us? Not familiar enough to know. Let's try to put a Chalice on 1. Seems like an okay start. Doesn't impact us at all. And if they care enough, they'll counter this. I presume they have a counter at this point. Okay. It sticks. Pass turn. Just spinning with this again. I'm going to go ahead and Helix. 1 to get it out of hand. 2 to do the 3 damage to them. Now we're closer with Chandra. We're closer with our own Ajani's. They get a Fact or Fiction here. That'll give us more ideas of what they're doing. End steps into the story. Finds a mountain. We top deck a land. Land pass turn. I think this is going to be a little bit of a back and forth from here on out. A little bit of back and forth. Let's try this on 2 next. 2 stops 2 more helixes, which is a win condition here. I want to test the waters to see if they care about it on 2. They don't. It does stop a stomp. I guess they only have 1 of those, though. We're going to do a fact or fiction here. Oh. Sure. They have a K command. That does get rid of the Chalice on 2. Fetching. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Doesn't want a shock, for sure. They've reopened up our win condition at this point. 5 mana. Hope you guys see that. Plays a Ral. Pretty good. Pretty good. Ral would kill us. So we have to find 5 damage here before this really gets to probably 8. Land drop. So you have something like a Cryptic as an option here. We need a land drop. Pass turn. Don't do this to us, opponent. They have a lot of lands, by the way. I suppose they are also almost, what, 14 cards deeper than us right now? Well, they cared about this being on 2 last time. We'll put it back on 2. Cryptic command, counter bounce, counter draw. They do care about 2 quite a bit. Down to 4 we go. Mystic Sanctuary to put probably Cryptic command back on top. Okay. They get to do Ral again. Mystic Sanctuary to put Archmage Charm on top. Puts an Opt on top. It's an interesting one. Let's hit the Azcanta here with our Stone Rain. Coming to the end of the road here. They don't care enough. By the way, if there were 2 Molten Rains, presuming they didn't want to use a counter there. Here we go with Ral. Ral Emblem. Ral Emblem with minimum 1 counter in hand. Opponent's going to discard. Discards Kess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go big or go home. We know they have the Cryptic, but we'll bust. They'll counter with Cryptic, maybe not do enough. We'll draw another Boom Bust, and we'll get them, right? No, drown in the lock. Drown in the lock. That's not good. End step Opt, I presume. Oh, is it Charm? Snapcaster. So Rest in Peace looks decent here. Stops Drown, stops Mystic Sanctuary, stops Snapcaster Mage. I see an Ashiok. Nightmare Weaver. K command getting rid of our Chalice on 1. This will allow them to opt. This is how we die. It's how we slowly die. So Trinisphere, Damping Sphere, Rest in Peace. Maybe the Purge is for like a Ral. Fatal pushes their own Snapcaster. Alright. You got us, opponent. You got us. We'll probably leave 2 bridges in, maybe not all 3. Alright, Trinisphere, Boil. Couple Purges and Damping Spheres interest me. As do a pair of Rest in Peace. Pyroclasm, not so much. Anger, not so much. Wrath of God, not so much. We'll just rely on our removal. Probably a pair of Boom Busts, because we're bringing in Boil. 1 bridge. Maybe the 2nd bridge. Just leave us with 1 bridge and removal. We're bringing in a couple Purges. That's like adding a little bit of removal. I think that Boil and the Trinisphere and Damping Spheres is where we need to be. Could be completely off, though, having no experience with this list across from us. We'll give it a shot, though. Gotta learn somehow. Gotta play the matchup. Let's play first. Alright, I'll keep this. It's a Trinisphere. It's a relatively fast Trinisphere. As in turn 2. We don't get to turn 3 Chandra them, but keeping them kind of just hitting 1 card at a time wouldn't be bad. Alright, so there's Steam Vents here. I'm just going to go ahead and lay the Trinisphere out. Let's see if they've got the counter here. Do you have the counter? The answer is no. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to play Magic for 2 turns. Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent's not going to play Magic for even longer. We'll nail the Steam Vents here past turn. We're going to get the Chandra into play next. Unless we get another Stone Rain effect, I suppose. Chandra's in. Up with Chandra. Damage. I actually don't mind skipping a Trinisphere there. I don't really need a 2nd one. We'll probably see a 3rd land here from my opponent. Should see a 3rd land. There we go. Finds the 3rd land. Chalice. Let's go ahead and go up here first. Chalice on perhaps 2 here. You know what? We can put a Chalice on 1. This is so frustrating to do. There we go. Got it. You have to pay it for 1. You have to pay it for 1 and then say okay to then get the Trinisphere tax. Alright. I have nothing up. I'll go ahead and F6 here. They could have something at the end step here, like an opt. That would be countered, though. Maybe a K command to get rid of our Trinisphere. That would be it for the Trinispheres. We milled over the 1. This has to find a Steam Vents. 3 mana. Petty Thefts, bouncing a Chandra instead of other cards. Okay. Gonna K command a Trinisphere here. Wow! Fall. Target player reveals 2 cards at random and then discards them. Let's go ahead and cycle. I suppose I could have cycled in response. Not exactly what I expected. That was a interesting affair of cards to be played there. Opponent will be at 10. They can play 1 spell a turn currently. This is buying us some time, slowing down the game. Although 5 for Ashiok Nightmare. So this can create a 2/3. Whenever the creature attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. We can return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And then we exile a card from our hand. This is nasty stuff here. Especially just having lost our Celestial Purge. Maybe we should have cantripped. I didn't expect them to have a double discard there. Deciding to make 2/2/3s here. Not going to block just yet. We could be in trouble. Like a lot of trouble. Search for Skanta can play Brazen Borrow at end step here. We get just another Simian Spirit Guide. I'm telling you, I'm having trouble with this red-white list when we're doing so many Stone Rain effects. It's a tough one. I think we've lost this one. Down to 9, goes and gets a basic island, plays Petty or Brazen Borrower in. Plays Snapcaster instead. Search for Skanta will not flip, but does get them to look at the top card here. Makes another 2/3. This is how they're killing us. I'm milling over to all these cards. They're gonna boil. And even a boil doesn't get rid of 3 of their lands. They'd still be able to play through Trinisphere. There's the Helix. I mean, a Helix would win this. It's unlikely. I do like this, though. Having not seen this list before, I like what it's doing. I could see some inconsistencies, obviously, at times. I don't presume to worry about those inconsistencies, though. They seem to be doing just fine. We go over Chandra Awakened. We haven't gone over Helixes, though. Hot dang. You may cast up to 3 spells from the face-up cards? Oh boy. Probably should have read what Ashiok was doing here. I want to cast these cards. They'll get to cast 2 cards here. But that one's a pretty good one to cast. Not to mention a Johnny's going to gain them life. I think I'm just going to let all this happen. I'm okay with this happening. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool. By the way, our opponent has this here. We're going to take 1 here, 9. And then we have 2, 4, 6. I can gain 3. I can do this at end step. I'm more just enjoying the moment here with my opponent. Blowing up 1 land doesn't do anything here. We'll get another gift. We'll have Johnny go up 1 more. They'll attack us for 2, 4, 6. We're going to go to 3, down 2 more, down to 1. And we'll be dead the next turn. And there you have it. Red, White, Sun and Moon, the lockout deck. Kinda not locking out too many opponents. Not locking them out. It is what it is, though. There you go. There you have it. Not the best showing. A 1-4 in the league, if I recall. Yes, indeed. 1-4. We started so strong and kind of fizzled out. We'll see you in the conclusion. Sun and Moon in Modern here, trying to beat down on some companions. Lutri was probably not the one we were thinking about, but Luris certainly was. and unfortunate we ended up losing to that. We did see 2 ad nauseum lists and then a random list as well, and so there you go. It's kind of an interesting assortment of things, especially since we're playing red-white. If we would have had the Blood Moons, which is in some of our other builds of this, ad nauseum would have been a cakewalk, but instead we had this one, which is just strictly trying to remove creatures and remove lands. This obviously plays well against a Lurrus deck, but doesn't play too well against things that like combo. Overall, the list is pretty decent. I think it still suffers from that. You hit 3, you're going to Stone Rain, you're going to Pillage, and then we really theoretically only have about 5 win conditions. And because we only have these 5 win conditions, it's very light to hit 1, and if 1 is countered, then you're just not doing much. And I'd even make an argument that a Johnny is more the plan of removal and disruption, not necessarily the win condition like a Chandra here. And so if you get a Johnny of those 5 win conditions, it's still a very, very slow win condition. Modern is slow enough right now that I still think there is this nuance where Trinisphere maybe doesn't always work. However, against some of those combo decks, against some of the burn decks, it's certainly a great card to have. Not knocking the card, but it with Chalice and Trinisphere, I don't know if you need both. You could free up some room there. It's an interesting list though. Definitely worth at least watching through as you have. Thank you so much for watching through. If you've enjoyed it or would like to leave comments, certainly do. I do try to read most of those. Liking and subscribing obviously helps the channel as well. That being said, thank you for tuning in. Red, White, Sun and Moon lockout here in Modern. Have a good weekend. Take care.